This video is sponsored by Raycon. What is up, my ghouls and ghosts, to another wonderful day of talking about the latest indie show produced by Glitch Tech, the Gaslight District, or as I like to call it, my cup of tea. Now, I'm not gonna bore you guys with fluff or preamble. We're just gonna go straight into the undead heart of this show and my only real negative in a sea of praise. But first, I have something to celebrate. You see, I've been doing YouTube for a long time, and as a YouTuber, there's a couple things you have to do to become like a real established YouTuber. Like getting the plaque, getting imposter syndrome, and getting sponsored by Raycon. If you're anything like me and have a passion for music and podcasts or just a desire for an immersive audio experience while you're on the go, Raycon is the brand you need to know about. I've been using their earbuds for a while now, and let me tell you, they have transformed my listening experience. Whether you're vibing to your favorite songs or diving deep into a compelling podcast, everything feels rich and crystal clear. Plus, they come in a variety of colors, letting you express your own unique style. But what truly blew me away is the battery life, as yeah, I'm so used to always running out of energy, but here, these things can last for a solid 32 hours of complete playtime, allowing me to lose myself playing tunes all day long without a care in the world. They fit snugly into any ear, making them perfect for those marathon listening sessions. I took them with me to the gym and I was genuinely impressed. They stayed securely, and I am like, that is such a hard thing for me to find usually. Also, not to mention the noise cancellation. It's incredible. I was able to completely immerse myself in the beats without any distractions. My part where my klutzy self kept dropping it, but with Raycon's protective case, there is no need to fear. So if you're on the lookout for a top-notch pair of affordable headphones, I am wholeheartedly recommending Raycon. And cherry on top, you can snag a fantastic deal. Just click the link down below and go to buyraycon.com/sarcastic. And you'll get a delightful 20% off your order, and this is site-wide. All right, thank you for listening. Now, let's jump back to the video. All right, fuck it, we ball. I loved the Gaslight District, guys. Truly, this show was just tailor-made for me personally. From its creepy aesthetic that's harkening back to Tim Burton, the one films that he didn't actually make, or more accurately, Psychonauts, Gaslight feels like it was designed to appeal to my messed up sensibilities. I mean, the first thing we see our heroes do is perform a hit on a guy who low-key doesn't deserve this. They damn this man to a fate worse than death, drowning at the bottom of the ocean. And they're supposed to be the good guys. I love that. That is so fucked up. But it's like, okay, no. Undead, anything can go. And that is very much so true here. This is a wild intro to the series. It's just so brimming with ambition and passion and style. So honestly, like, what is there to like possibly be annoyed about? Well, nothing. I don't think this pilot has any real glaring issues for its target audience. But for everyone else, yeah, the story does feel like it's always moving at like 2.5 speed. Now, personally, I was okay with the pacing of this episode. There's worse things in the world than having a story that is just always going, especially when every scene has something intense or interesting going on.
And nothing someone says before the word but really counts.
But Gaslight does front load a fuck ton of information at you. Like, honestly, I watched the teaser for the show and texted D-Cut saying, bro, this show was fucking made for you. And having seen the full episode, yo, no, it was 100% made for lore heads. As we jump from an exposition dump to an action scene to a lore dump to just more and more intense shit, and then we never truly get a chance to breathe while watching this thing. And I think the show did a great job finding what little space it had for Mel and Ken's dynamic to shine through. Sorry, the other two. However, I think by the end, I did wish we got a little bit more from everyone. This world is so interesting, and I'm curious to see where the story will go next. However, when we finish the episode, I do wish like we trade a little bit of that constant momentum, just get more of a baseline for this world and the characters. The story seems like it's centered around stopping the apocalypse, maybe, with the game being set up to be like public enemy number 1. But we're going through this thing so fast so you don't really get a chance to set a baseline for this world, what it's like, how all the characters interact with each other before shit hits the fan. Like, there is a massive bomb in this group dynamics of, oh yeah, the main girl. Spoilers, like this is going to be some spoilers, so if you guys weren't expecting it, I like it, would recommend, go check it out. But yeah, spoilers, Mel is a human, and no one except her dad knows this. So it's like, okay, this is huge. This will completely change how everyone else sees her. They will realize like, oh my God, our boss was lying to us, and we're just going. That it doesn't feel like we have enough time to like really set a group dynamic, which I wish we could have gotten a bit more of for a pilot episode. Episode does a fantastic job of setting up the plot and like the general gist, but I really want to like get to know these characters, who they are, how they interact, before things truly went sideways. Like there's a point in the middle where Mel asks her dad,
"You're, proud of me, right?"
And like, it was then that I was like, okay, we are starting to get into too much to chew territory. Like the reveal of Mel being the human could have been like the cliffhanger for the premiere, but instead it's confirmed in the first 7 minutes, only for us to smash into a heist against strange undead cyborgs, mystery prophecies, and like then there's the father-daughter bond sandwiched between all the other mysteries. Thankfully, by the time those credits roll, I was able to get it all down, and to use up my last comparison, compared to Murder Drones or Digital Circus, Gaslight's premiere feels like the first episode that is truly throwing the most at you. The synopsis of, oh, this is a gothic crime drama, is like, that is only a quarter of everything else going on in this story. This premiere feels less like an introduction and more like it is grabbing you by the throat and immediately going 0 to 100.
I'm ghost riding the whip, crazy taxi.
Now, I'm into that shit, but I can see this being a little much for some casuals. All that said though, Gaslight, if it's given more episodes, could easily soar after this. We've basically set the stage for the rest of the story, not to mention actually take the time to breathe and really get to know these people. I want to see more of Ken and Mel's dynamic. I want to know more about Ken's mysterious past with the Vindicators, or like what the fuck was X, Y, Z, etc. Like, to give one other neg, Gaslight has a ton of hooks that have me super interested in the world and story. I am sold, though I can also see a world where others will be thrown just at how much and how fast is being thrown at them, and that this mass quantity of questions may result in the bigger hooks for the series, like the mystery surrounding the prophecy, just feel like another mystery rather than the mystery. Give the show more time, and I think it will be good. But it's coming in fast and raw, and you just gotta be ready for it. Also, side note, why was the teaser in this episode? Like, we had the opening, yeah, sure, but then we just get the teaser for the series. I'm like, maybe that's an opening, but it just repeated everything the opening said. I don't know why this is here. So, the other things I don't know? I do not know how popular Gaslight's gonna be right out the gate. Frankly, I am shocked and almost appalled that this wasn't dropped in October. Like, this feels like the biggest no-brainer I have ever heard of. But honestly, give it 1 or 2 more episodes and I can see this thing really finding its audience, as yeah, it's a banger. To praise the obvious, this show looks amazing. From the character designs to the stop animation and sudden nastiness, Gaslight is dripping in visual flair. My buddy Jake Neutron described this show as looking like a music video, and I can really disagree. Rule of cool seems to be the main visual goal, and at that it succeeded. I love the way it messes with its aspect ratio, the way it bounces between diegetic and non-diegetic jokes. Exaggeration is king here, and I think it very much works in its favor. From impact frames to the sudden song about the rat sinking beneath the sea, or Ken imagining being tortured by the virtues, Gaslight is always cooking something up, with its use of limited frame rates being just a great shorthand for just how this show, it is a little bit of a darker take, harking back to like the older stop motion films, God bless Henry Selick. But that little bit of jank, it lends itself to the unhinged energy of this pilot. Not to mention as like random Monogatari style use of quick text, which is another fun touch. Even if all this does lend itself to like, oh yeah, so much is happening and it is going a little bit too fast. But once it all comes together, the violence, the style, the direction, this show is gorgeous in every sense of the word. Yeah, I said what I said. So yeah, this world is so dope. Taking place on an island that I'm pretty sure is just supposed to be Dante's Inferno, the initial concept of everyone is undead quickly gets removed to reveal a story that has a lot more roots in cosmic horror than you might expect. These zombies are alive, but they're not just like alive, they're being kept alive by the power of the Black Hand. This weird symbol thing that like as a cult worshiping it, it seems to be like it might be alive. There's an organization of cyborgs with living brains that seem to guard their own version of heaven, with angels being just crows on crack. The old world, our world, looks like it was flooded. There appears to be other levels to this city. There are random like flymen everywhere, and I just want to know what like this place's deal is. I want to know how it got this way, like what are the rules here? Is this really just limbo after the apocalypse? So many questions that I need answers to. And it's like I'm not looking for like right or wrong here. I mean, the virtues seem terrible, the angels seem crazy, and the undead were willing to celebrate killing a baby. Yeah, I just assume everyone's a little flavor of terrible. Also, I think I need to shout this out, but congrats to all those YouTubers that make theory or lore videos. Gaslight is gonna make y'all fucking rich. But what's a world if it doesn't have interesting characters in it? Boring. So yeah, let's talk about these characters and their potential. Not to say I dislike any of them, but besides Mel and Ken, everyone else is like doesn't really have enough screen time for me to make a proper judgment call. Breadhead seems like cool, he's the big strong big guy of the group. I'm not sure if he's a traditional undead like the other ones or he's like a golem made of bread being piloted by a brain. He's cool, but he's just kind of there with some cool moments. Mud was honestly the most surprising character that I kind of found him underwhelming. I usually vibe like the selfish jackass of the team. This is like always goes so crazy in fandom spaces, but here he doesn't really stand out as much as I thought he would. Mainly I think this is because yeah, so few opportunities to like bounce off of other characters. He is perpetually like on his own. So besides some great—
How long has it been? 4,000 years? Actually, 5,245 years, but who's counting?
Okay, cards on the table. I think the show is a little bit better at visual comedy than it is at like characters say funny things.
Do our pinky promises mean nothing to you?
Now, it should go without saying that Ken and Mel are the best characters in this first episode. Ken most of all, as, yeah, we know the most about him and understand why he does everything. This man is a dad, and he's got brain damage and a hair trigger temper, leading him to not like he's flawed in a way that I like. As far from being just like the annoying, overbearing dad, we see how he cares and wants to minimize risk, but he has a way of flying off the handle that impairs his better judgment. Taking the risk of silencing Temperance just out of fear of him snitching despite years of staying quiet. Dude loves his friends, loves his daughter, but he is very much choosing his daughter over everyone else, and that could lead to so much danger later. Ken is a violent thug, but he's also adorable in how he makes his little pinky promises with Mel. I'm not really a sucker for the protective dad trope, but seeing him fight Diligence was pretty awesome. The various hints of his past, like, that is truly getting me to lock in to like see where his story goes. And I think this all works because as we see it, everything Ken wants for Mel is the exact opposite of what she wants.
I'm invincible! Me! A member of the Smiling Dead!
Mel is unhinged, the only human in a city of the undead, and honestly, her having a couple screws loose is like the most normal thing in this situation. Though I do fully wonder, how have the others not figured out that she's human if she's growing, or was she just like hatched out of the egg at that size? No, that doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure we saw a picture of the baby. So yeah, how is he hiding the fact that she's still growing? All right, they're idiots. Mel is a ball of energy. I think she'll make for a great lead, especially now that we've gone past the setup. Mel is the special. She's fated to end the undead, with her not really caring about that for the moment. Instead, she set her sights on living her own life and joining her dad's gang. Now, personally, given how much everything is firing on all cylinders this episode, I kind of think we could have given Mel a simpler motivation. Just like, okay, she really wants to like make her dad proud, or like, oh, she really wants to like her freedom. Instead, it's like, okay, a combination of everything. However, I do think this is gonna be a case of like Schrodinger's writing, as the dominant motivation of her character is really gonna be determined in the follow-up episodes. The story could lean into her desire to live her own life. It could lean into her wanting to make her dad proud. It could lean into the conflict between father and daughter, or it could just like really dig into the mystery of the prophecy. The show will work with whatever like like what it picks. But by the end of this episode, it does feel like whatever Mel wants is going to be reflective of like whatever the story decides to focus on. Not so much by Mel as like the lead. I think Hindsight is going to be this show's best friend, but right now, while I like her, I think I like Mel's vibe more than her character. Though honestly, that might be like my opinion on this pilot as a whole, because I really like the Gaslight District, the world, the aesthetic, the weird complicated lore tying it all together. The bones of a really good story are here. It just needs more time to expand on everything it's shown us, while just having some time to breathe. Gaslight feels like it's going to be a very plot-heavy show. I do not see much episodic downtime here, but having seen everything it has to offer, oh yeah, I am going to fuck with whatever it does. As this show is my cup of tea, which is also my fancy way of saying it's kinda niche. Okay, this is like a side thing I kinda want to put into ether. I am very curious to see like how popular the Gaslight District is gonna be, as this show is the most unique thing Glitch has put out in a hot second, and I'm kinda nervous that it might not catch the same wider audience it needs to get picked up for more episodes. Like, I love the designs, but these don't really scream easily merchandisable like Murder Drones or Circuses does. Which is a petty thing to say, but unless people buy the merch, we won't get more episodes of this. So don't blame me for reminding people to show your interest with your wallet. But yeah, TLDR, I fucks with this show, and I really want to see more of it. Alright, remember to check out my sponsor Raycon, and if you'll forgive me for the constant plugging, also check out my side channel Sarcastic IRL, where I'll be reacting and giving more off-the-cuff style of commentary videos. I will be reacting to this show, again after I lost all the footage because why not? But if you're like me and need to relax, check out my compilation channel Sarcastic Vibes, where I'm sure I'll be making rounds on Twitter for people calling me a hypocrite for compiling old videos of mine for a certain show. But most importantly, let me know what you all thought of the Gaslight District. As yeah, this one is gonna be interesting, and I'm curious to see what other people think. Alright, toodles.